I'm going to show you two exercises that are really easy, really effective, and anyone can do them to help fix their rounded shoulders. Rounded shoulders are usually associated with forward head posture because this sternum right here and the ribs around it are in a depressed position, and that is pushing the head forward. What this is really representative of is not necessarily weak muscles on the backside of the rib cage and overactive pecs. It's really a strategy for that person to breathe more easily. Now, we all know that our lungs are in our rib cage and that when we inhale, our rib cage should expand in all directions. But if these upper ribs right here are in a depressed state and the head is being pushed forward, what this represents is that the diaphragm can't do a good enough job as the main muscle of inhalation to create expansion of the rib cage from front to back and side to side. So what happens is the muscles on the front side of the neck, such as the scalenes and SCM muscles, which are muscles of inhalation but secondary and should be accessory to the diaphragm, these muscles get overactive, and so if these muscles get tight trying to elevate the rib cage to bring in air, then that is going to pull the head forward with it. And these ribs are not able to properly expand because if they were, then the neck wouldn't have as much of a reason to pull the head forward and become overactive. So our goal here is to get the rib cage in a position where we can create expansion of it, specifically on the front side, but also not create tension in the neck. Because if we feel any tension in the neck whatsoever, then that means that we are using our neck probably more so than we want to. And because we want expansion of these upper ribs, we want the rib cage and belly to rise simultaneously. It's going to be very easy in these positions for people to just breathe into their belly. We don't want that to be exclusively what's going on because that's just going to feed a strategy where you're just breathing into your lower rib cage, but we want everything to expand in this upper rib cage section here because that will take stress off of the neck. So it will be of the utmost importance that when we actually fully exhale, we're going to feel a little bit of tension in our side abs because these side abs, the obliques, help secure the rib cage in this position at the end of an exhale to prepare it for full simultaneous expansion of both the belly and the rib cage. But if we don't get a full exhale in these positions, we're simply running the risk of just being in a position where we're just going to be extended and laying on our back like this, and this is not a position that's conducive to getting the neck to shut off. So here are the two exercises, and if you like exercises that are simple and very effective like this, then you can check out my programs like my Beginner Body Restoration program and my No BS Guide to Shoulder Health. Both of these are very easy programs that don't require a lot of time nor equipment, and they allow you to start really easy and logically progress you to positions and exercises that will help you feel and move better pretty quickly. This is the 90-90 hip lift with an anterior expansion bias. What we're gonna do, as the name of the exercise suggests, is get in this position of 90-degree bend at both our knees and our hips. We have a little shelf built underneath us to drag down our heels into it at the beginning of the exercise, and I find it helps most people, but you don't have to use it if you don't want to. You can try it without and see what happens. But we have a ball in between our knees that allows our knees to stay in line with both our feet and our hips. Make sure it's not too wide, whatever object you're using. Doesn't have to be a ball, but it just needs to make sure that everything stays in line. And you're just gonna hold it there. Now, what you're gonna do to initiate the exercise is first make sure that your chin is pointing at the ceiling, directly at the ceiling. And then you're gonna drag down very gently on the wall. And you're going to feel your hamstrings engage on both sides as your tailbone lifts off of the ground and your low back remains flat. Okay, maintaining that slight posterior pelvic tilt, we're gonna take our elbows, get them slightly out from our sides with our fists pointed up at the ceiling, and we're gonna press down about 3 to 4 out of 10. I wouldn't go much more than that because all you need to do is feel a little bit of engagement of the musculature between your shoulder blades, around your shoulder blades. You don't want to consciously squeeze your shoulder blades back because if you do that, you're just going to flare your ribs and extend your back. That is absolutely not what we want to feel here. So make sure you're just doing a little bit of pressure down into the floor. If you're feeling something happening back there, you're doing it well enough. Now, maintaining that, exhale through your mouth very gently for about 5 to 10 seconds. At the end of that exhale, sighing it out, you're gonna feel your side abs engage on both sides. Maintain that slight contraction of your side abs as you close your mouth and slowly inhale through your nose. And it should be a silent 5-ish second inhale. You're gonna feel your chest expand when you do that. That's exactly what we're looking for on this exercise. Exhale again, nice and soft, 5 to 10 seconds. And again, the longer and softer, the better. We never want to inhale or exhale forcefully, because if we exhale forcefully, we're just gonna depress the sternum. And if we inhale forcefully, we're gonna kick on our neck. We should never ever feel our neck as we inhale. So if you are, you're going too hard or too fast. And then you're just gonna do that for about 5 breath cycles. If you're feeling issues or tension in your neck, what you can do is roll up a little hand towel or something similar and place it underneath the neck. And it should be thick enough to make it feel like your head is being supported, and your neck can be in a position where your chin is pointing directly up at the ceiling. And it's not too far down or too far up. So that's all the thickness you need right there, and that should help you stay more comfortable throughout the exercise. To start for this, we're going to be in a hook-lying position where we're on our back and we have a pillow underneath our back. And the pillow is starting at the bottom of our pelvis right here, and it's ending just at our head. So our neck is gonna be slightly supported, but our head's gonna be off of it. So it needs to be just a couple of inches thick, not much more than that, but enough to give us some elevation off of the ground, because that's gonna help us open up our chest. Now, it's very important here that we have our head in the proper position. We need to have our chin directly up at the ceiling. We don't want it to be too low, and we don't want it to be too high. So the pillow needs to be the right height, or that object that you're on, to allow the chin to be directly at the ceiling. So we're gonna start by bringing these elbows out to shoulder height, and then just dropping them and relaxing them on the ground. If you can't get them all the way on the ground relaxed, that's okay. We'll talk about some modifications in a second. But basically, you should be able to do that without these low ribs flaring excessively. You're gonna have a little flare, that's okay, but if you feel like you can't get your arms in that position without a ton of extension occurring as a result of that, then we need to add in some modifications and support. That's coming in a second. So we're here, nice and chill, everything's relaxed. You shouldn't have any muscular tension in your body whatsoever. We're gonna initiate this by doing a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt. So all Trevor's gonna do is just slightly tuck his hips underneath him, just a tiny, tiny bit. And that'll help him get less rib flare right here. So he can imagine doing this by just putting a little bit of pressure through the floor and squeezing his glutes just a little bit. Okay, now what we're gonna do is a nice, soft, long exhale through the mouth, side out. For about 5 to 10 seconds until you feel your side abs engage. Try to minimize the contribution from your 6-pack rectus abs. The softer and longer the exhale, the more you're going to get your side abs and the less you're gonna get your 6-pack, because the 6-pack will crunch you down, and we don't want that. We want the side abs to work to bring the ribs down. And then at the end of that exhale, close your mouth, put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and maintain a very slight amount of that contraction in your side abs as you inhale very slowly and silently through the nose for about 3 to 5 seconds. The key here is, can you keep your neck 100% relaxed? That's really your primary concern here. Never, ever, ever feel your neck. If you do, you're inhaling too hard or for too long. So again, let's recap. Nice exhale, maintaining that pelvic tilt, side out, 5 to 10 seconds. As a result of that exhale, you're going to feel a little bit of side abs. Maintain that very slightly. As you inhale from the nose, you're gonna feel your chest open up super nicely, and your neck is gonna stay relaxed. If you're struggling with too much tension or discomfort with your humerus back into external rotation, what you can do is get in that same position, but just give yourself some elevation. We have yoga blocks here. You could use towels rolled up, you could use pillows, doesn't really matter, whatever makes you comfortable. And if that's even too much, then you can go boom, right here, boom, right there, and then you can just chill in that position, whatever works for you. The goal is 0 tension whatsoever. For maximum efficiency, I would recommend doing both of these exercises both in the morning and at night for about 2 to 3 sets of about 5 to 10 breath cycles, whatever you can do comfortably. That's going to give your body enough input to help create lasting change.